Okay, 1.6 on page 50. Number 1, name a pair of adjacent and complementary angles. So complementary means they add up to 90. And complementary angles and supplementary angles don't have to be attached. But in this question, they're saying they want the adjacent ones, meaning attached. They have to be attached to answer this question. So you have 34 and 49, and they look like they add up to 90, but when you add those together, you get 83. So those two don't work. But if we notice, I'm going to use a highlight here, this is a straight line. So if this is 90 degrees, then its supplement must be 90 degrees, which includes L, J, M, and M, J, N. So 56 and 34 add up to 90. So those would be your answers. So angle L, J, M, and angle M, J, N. Those are adjacent and complementary. Number 3, name a pair of non-adjacent, not attached, supplementary. So two angles that are not attached to each other, and they add up to 180, okay? So let's see, you're just going to have to add some things together here. And two angles, you don't, if it's 3, then that's not what we're talking about. It's a pair, two angles that add up to 180, okay? So let's just look at 124. We need an angle, subtract that from 180, 56 degrees. So 56 and 124 add up to 180. So those are supplementary and they're not attached. So angle FGH and angle LJM. There you go. Next. Find the angle measure. All right. Angle 1 is a complement of angle 2. Complement means you have two angles, this is number 5, two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So I don't know what we have here. I'll say this is angle 1 and this is angle 2. And after you read the question, you can draw appropriate if you want. It does say angle 1's 23 degrees. So if you wanted to do that, we can just switch these, make it a little bit easier. Angle 1, that looks like 30 degrees, so close to 23 degrees. It doesn't have to be. Okay, and then angle 2 is here. Now they're a complement of each other. So if this is 23 degrees, angle 1 equals 23 degrees, then what's the measure of angle 2? So the measure of angle 2 would be 90 minus 23 degrees. So these two add up to 90 degrees, they're complementary. So 90 minus 23 is 67 degrees. All right, number 7. Angle 5 is a supplement. All right, supplement means they make a form a straight line. So we'll just say, let's see, it says angle 5 is 78 degrees. That's angle 5. And angle 6 is its supplement. So together they add up to 180, a half circle. So you take 180 minus 78, and you get 102 degrees for the measure of angle 6. All right, next question. Number 9, find the measure of each angle. Okay, so this forms a straight line here, so they're supplementary. So we add them together, 3x plus 5 plus 10x minus 7. They add up to 180 degrees. That's what supplementary means. So 13x minus 2, 5 minus 7 is minus 2, equals 180. Add 2, 13x equals 182. Divide by 13. So let's use your math skills here. 13 goes into 18 one time with a remainder of 5. And 13 goes into 52 4 times. So remember, 4 times 13 is 52. You're going to see that number a lot too. All right, x is 14, but it wants to know the measure of each angle. So the measure of angle QRT is equal to 3 times 14 plus 5. 3 times 14 is 42 plus 5. That's 47 degrees. And if that's 47 degrees, the measure of angle TRS is 180 minus that, because they have to add up to 180. All right, so 133 degrees. All right, and number 11, let's remove this. Number 11, and that little piece there. Number 11, UVW. All right, so there's not a picture for this, so we're going to draw this. And XYZ are complementary angles. So notice that the V and the Y, those are the center values. What that means is if they are adjacent to each other, attached, that means their vertexes have to be the same. So these are two different angles, all right? So UVW is x minus 10, and x, y, and z is 4x minus 10. They say that these two angles are complementary. That means they add up to 90 degrees. So x minus 10 plus 4x minus 10 is equal to 90. So you have an x and a 4x, that's 5x. You have a minus 10 and a minus 10, that's minus 20. All right, so we add 20 to both sides. 5x equals 110, divided off the 5, and x is equal to 22. So if x is 22, we can now substitute all of these in. So 22 minus 10, so the measure of angle UVW is going to be 12. And 4 times 22 minus 10. 4 times 22 is 88. So the measure of angle XYZ is equal to 88 minus 10, or 78. And if you notice, those add up to 90. All right, number 13. Identify linear pairs that include angle 1. So this is an important part. It has to have angle 1. So angle 1 makes a line with what other angles? Now, pair. You could put 3 angles together, but then it's not called a pair. So don't say angle 1, 2, and 3. Yes, angle 1, 2, and 3 form a straight line, but it never asks for more than one pair, okay? So we just want, what does angle 1 go with to make a straight line? And the only one that angle 1 is attached to would be angle 5. So number 13, angle 5 and angle 1 are a linear pair. All right, number 15 are angle 6 and 8 vertical angles. So remember, vertical angles form straight lines with each of their sides. So angle 6 is right here, using the yellow line here. There's the line for angle 6, and the other side of the angle for angle 6, if you go straight through, yes, angle 6 and angle 8 make vertical angles. So they form straight lines with each other. Okay, now, it can't be something like this, where you have angle 6 and then something like that. So you have, on this example I gave you, that's a straight line, but then you use the other side of angle 6, that doesn't form a straight line there. Okay, that's not a straight line. So you couldn't say angle 6 and angle 8 are vertical in that respect. All right, so angle 6 and angle 8 in this example are vertical angles. Explain your reasoning: because they form straight lines. All right, let's move on. What did they do wrong here? So let's just look at what they're saying here. Describe and correct the error in identifying pairs of angles in the diagram. Pairs of angles. Okay. So number 17 says angle 2 and angle 4 are adjacent angles. Okay, so it doesn't really say what they mean by pairs of angles. I think they're talking about pairs of adjacent angles based on what we're seeing here. So pairs of adjacent angles would be next to each other. All right, so angle 2 and angle 3 are next to each other. All right, so angle 2 and angle 3, They're adjacent to each other. And angle 2 and angle 1 are adjacent to each other. Angle 4 is not adjacent to angle 2. Adjacent means they share a side of their angle. Okay? Let's go on to the next one. 19. Okay, two angles form a linear pair. All right, a line. There's two angles. The measure of one angle is twice the measure of the other angle. All right, so find the measure of each angle. So if this is the one angle, because we don't know that, okay, so you don't know the one angle, so you have to give it a variable. But the other angle is twice the measure of that angle. So twice means 2 times. So 2 times x is the other angle. All right, so now we can figure out what each of these angles are. So 2x plus x, they're supplementary, so they add up to 180 degrees. Linear pair means supplementary. All right, so that's 3x equals 180. Divide off the 3, and x equals 60. So that means this one's 60 degrees, and the other one must be 120 degrees. That's twice the other angle. Okay, that's 19. So let's go to number 21. 21, the measure of an angle is 1/4 the measure of its complement. All right, so you have two angles that are complementary. I don't know this angle. So again, give it a letter. I don't know the other angle either, but we're starting out by saying the measure of an angle is 1/4 the measure of its complement. I don't know the measure of its complement, but I do know this angle is 1/4 the measure of its complement. If the complement of this angle right here is x, then this angle here is 1/4 of that. So you have 1/4 of its complement plus the complement is equal to 90 degrees. So this is 1x as a fraction needing to be a 4. It'd be 4/4x to get a common denominator. You got to add those two together. So this is 5/4 x equals 90. Now how do we deal with that? You multiply by the reciprocal, 4/5. All right? And so 20/20 is x, 1x. And you could do 4 times 90 is 360 and divide by 5 in your calculator, or you could divide 90 by 5 first. So if you divide 90 by 5 first, that's a 1. 5 goes into 9 once with a remainder of 4. 5 goes into 40 8 times. So 90 divided by 5 is 18. 18 times 4. 4 times 10 is 40. Okay. 4 times 8 is 32. So 72. So this is 72 degrees, and the complement would be 18. All right, 23. The ratio of the measure of an angle to the measure of its complement is 4:5. Okay, so we draw a complement here, meaning a 90-degree angle. And one of these angles we don't know, so we're going to label it x. And the other angle is 4/5 of that angle. All right, the ratio of the measure of an angle to the measure of its complement is 4:5. All right, so one angle is 4/5 of its complement. So again, 4/5 x plus x is equal to 90 degrees. This needs to be a 1, so we're going to make that 5/5 x to get a common denominator. So 9/5 x is equal to 90. Again, multiply by the reciprocal. So this is 45/45, which is 1x. And 9 goes into 90 10 times. 10 times 5 is 50. So if x is 50, so 50 degrees here, then 4/5 of that 50 degrees. So 4/5, x is 50. 4/5 times 50. And what do we get? 5 goes into 50 10 times. 4 times 10 is 40, which obviously if one is 50 degrees and they're complementary, this is 40 degrees. Okay, so that's how you get those. Let's go on. Okay, number 31. The measure of an angle is 6 degrees less than the measure of its complement. Okay, so we have a complement. We don't know what angle this is, but its complement, 90 minus x, that is 6 degrees less than. So x down here is 6 degrees less than means minus 6, its complement. Okay, so we say this angle is 6 degrees less than its complement. Its complement would be 90 minus whatever that is. All right, so the is difficult because it's an equal sign. So x is 6 degrees less than its complement. So if we want to solve this, x equals 90 minus x without the parentheses, minus 6. There's nothing to distribute, so you don't need them. So we're going to add x to the left, and you get 2x equals 90 minus 6 is 84. Divide off the 2, x is 42. So if x is 42, then this must be 48. Well, plug 42 in for x there. 90 minus 42 is 48. 48 minus 6 is 42. Okay, so that's what this part means, that x is equal to that value. So x is 42. So that means this is the same as this one. So 48 degrees is the other one, 42 degrees is this one. These are really kind of hard to set up. Okay, so let's get rid of this and do number 33. All right, 33. Okay, so let's write this the way this is saying. The measure of an angle, which we don't know, means equals 3 degrees more than, that means plus 3. 1/2, half means times 1/2 the measure of its supplement. So the supplement is 180 minus x. So x is 3 degrees more than 1/2 the measure of its supplement. All right. So just writing it down the way it's read, these are very difficult, but the more we do these, the better you're going to get at them. So let's put these together. So let's subtract 3, so we get x minus 3 equals 1/2 of 180 minus x. Let's multiply both sides by 2, and that gets rid of that fraction. Distribute, you get 2x minus 6 equals 180 minus x. Add the x. 3x minus 6 is equal to 180. Add 6. 3x is equal to 186. And divide off the 3. So 3 goes into 18 6 times. 3 goes into 6 once. So 186 divided by 3 is, 62. 62. So think about this. If you got supplementary angles, one angle is 62, and the supplementary part of that would be 118. All right. So half the supplement, half of 118, is going to be 59 degrees. And if you do 3 more than that, you get the 62. So that's what this is saying. The measure of 62 degrees is 3 more than half of the 118. That's what that's saying. All right, next question. 37, complementary angles. So tell whether the statement's always, sometimes, or never true. So if you can think of one example why it's never true, or why it's not true, then you got to ask yourself, is it never true, or is it just sometimes? All right, so 37, complementary angles are adjacent. So we've already talked about this. Complementary angles, those are adjacent, but are they always adjacent? And we've already said that you can have complementary angles that add up to 90 that are not adjacent. Okay, so this is only sometimes. And yes, these are all thinking questions. They're very difficult. Number 39. So 39 is vertical angles are adjacent. Okay, well, the definition of vertical angles is if I extend, let's do that part over. If I extend angle 1 here, both of the sides of angle 1 to make straight lines. Then angle 2 is its vertical angle. Well, is angle 1 attached to angle 2? Attached means they have to share a common side. That means angle 2 would have to be here, but it's not, and there it wouldn't be a vertical angle if it was. So they are not adjacent ever. So this is a never. They could never be adjacent. Okay, now if you were to say to me, which is really ridiculous, that angle 1 and angle 2 are always adjacent, but those really, you don't really have three different sides of an angle. So angle 1 and angle 2, so you got 1, 2, 3. You could say, well, that's 180 and that's 180, and they're sharing those two sides, so and they're vertical. Not really. That's not the definition that we go by. So this is not accurate. So really, vertical angles are never adjacent. All right, let's clean this up, and we will get... Why is this doing this? Oh my gosh. All right, fine. I'll just do it this way. All right, number 41. If an angle is acute, angle 1 is acute, then its complement, okay, the angle 2 here, that makes 90 degrees, then the complement, angle 2, must be greater than the supplement. Okay, if an angle is acute, then its complement is greater than its supplement. Well, the supplement to angle 1 is this, which includes angle 2. So angle 2 can't be bigger than something that's added to it. So that's never. All right. That's the end of that, so good luck with it. I hope you did well.